Right, Jake, I'm tired of talking about Sunderland because all of our players seem to be linked with all the players that we're interested in seem to be linked there as well. The UGBO thing is a link to Sunderland. It might be a case of the fact that they're the agency that represents has got a few players already at Sunderland. It's a more of a familiar situation there. Do you feel... I feel like this is very close to Wednesday because we know UGBO wants Wednesday. I feel like the deal is very close to being agreed with Wednesday. I think it's sort of a case of there's talk. I think, did Miller say in the Star that there's actually being a deal in principle agreed? It's just a case of ironing out some finalised stuff there. But Sunderland could try and swoop in, obviously, if that was the situation. He's a tested player for us. If you look at our pre-season, it's just waiting for him to get back in that lineup. He is that missing piece at the minute. I don't know if that's the way you feel about it, Jake, but for me, we've got to get this deal over the line this week.
There is an UGBO-shaped hole missing in our front lineup, let's be honest with ourselves, because you get him in, and there were some people who said when we spoke about UGBO, saying, oh, he's not as good as what you're saying he is, blah-de-blah-de-blah. He got his 17 appearances, 7 goals, probably would have got more as well if he didn't pick up that little knock. The thing is, with UGBO, it's very, very simple. We have got an agreement in principle with Troy now, which is fantastic. We finally got him down from that stupid number. It's meant to be somewhere around 2.5 million, 2.9. That is about the right amount of money we all agreed on the podcast that he's worth. Really, we said it.
I said up to 3.5.
Yeah.
So if that's with add-ons, you never know.
Yeah, so it's about 2.5 million between them. Now, here's the thing. The issue is that the way the payments are structured. Now, a lot of people are going, why are we not just paying it all up front and being done with? It doesn't work like that in football anymore. The days of paying payments up front are done. Like, a lot of clubs will have a payment structure to do it instead. Now, the thing with this is Troyes have got 6 million from a French club for one of their strikers. They've got 25 million for a player they sold to Man City. And they're now not a semi-professional football club. They got reinstated back to League 2 and Ligue 2 because Bordeaux went bust. They are now reinstated back into their league, which changes the picture for them.
Isn't there something like... Isn't there something like also they I don't know if it's that club, but Bordeaux are actually owed money by Troyes or something for one of their players or another team or something like, and that's part of the reason they've not got the fighter. It's just, it's a mess that. But yes, that I think that actually, even though they did get, I think it. A lot of people are saying, oh, so that means UGBO's not around. I think it could easily also be the other side of. Well, he came to on loan last season, didn't he, when they were in that league? So maybe they're just not fancying it. And this is why you can think, all right, okay, we'll get the money for him. And then we can invest in making sure we don't get relegated this season. And it balances things a little bit more for them.
Is UGBO turn around and gone, I do not want to be here, kind of thing. Because he made it very clear where he wanted to be. Like Alex Miller tweeted, all parties want to get the deal done, seem confident it will happen, remains. Deal it to sort. Time is moving on and other clubs' interest is there. But here's the thing. Players' terms have been agreed. They've been agreed for a very long time. Like, gone are the days where you had to do the transfer and then agree terms. Nowadays, it seems to be agree terms with the player, then get the transfer done.
Yeah, it used to be called tapping up that, but for some reason that seems to have just disappeared.
It gone, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It completely gone. But the thing is, Sunderland have, under the agency that UGBO is represented by, they have Hume, Patterson and Roberts all on the books there, which does help them a little bit. But they're also trying to get a deal for, I think it's Mendy, who is currently at the club Mbappe now owns 80% of. They're trying to get that deal done. Now, there's always been interest in UGBO from a lot of other clubs, but how much of it has been genuine interest or Troy putting out there to put pressure on us or agent putting it out there to put pressure on us? The thing is,
It's also a case of the whole point UGBO was a successful, Jake, is because he had the pre-existing relationship with like Masaba. And yes, he's a professional footballer. He'll develop into a squad and things like that. But he knows it's pretty much a guarantee that he's got his mate on the wing at Wednesday that feeds him. And he knows that. And he wants to go and play with his mate. It's like kicking around. It's like you're kicking around with your mate.
Yeah. And I think there was a lot of things where Sunderland fans have said, like, oh, Poveda and UGBO. And Poveda did do well with UGBO up top. There was some good footage that's shown how he did. But there wasn't as much creation as there was with Masaba, if that makes sense.
But what happens when Poveda gets injured in the second game and he's out for half a season and then he's not got that link up with UGBO? So Sunderland, you might want to reconsider before you spend a lot of money on that.
I think this. I'm still very confident this deal's going to happen, but it got to happen this week.
Yes, I mean, it doesn't technically, but it should. We need it to go along those lines. We need it to happen. There's one issue
with it though. UGBO's had no pre-season with Troyes. He's not been there,
which means he doesn't get chucked straight in unless he probably gets 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
The only thing I can guarantee that he's probably gone and done his own training himself.
Look at fit. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're just going to make sure it's the right. Can you imagine what'll happen when and if this does happen? The fans will be really happy, but it'll be like, we then need to move on to the next person. Like, people have got it in their heads that Sheffield Wednesday have only been looking at UGBO. No, we've looked at Soy Kabai. We've looked at other people outside of it that hasn't been leaked, kind of thing. Wednesday is very much a closed shop with what comes out now. It normally comes out on the day of a signing now. Like in the past, how many times have we done a podcast that's been like 2-3 weeks where we've been discussing it? A player, because it's been out for ages. Gone are those days. It seems to be all happening on a day or day before, kind of thing. The only thing with this is it does feel like the Wilkes saga all over again. But with UGBO, we had a try before we buy, so we know what we're getting.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer. UGBO, come on. Let's not have a Wilkes saga. I'm tired. Let's just get it over the line.
Yes.